this was an opportunity for me to play somebody who was nimble-footed, someone who was light-hearted, someone who was uh, happy and uncorrupted by uh, human politics. But what was interesting to me was that with Manisa, I discovered that innocence, something that my character Vanati embodies, it doesn't necessarily have to be coy or like, my, Sharmila. It doesn't necessarily have to be just that. Absolute truthfulness. There is also sort of innocence in that, in just speaking your mind and having, like, thinking aloud. There's a certain innocence and naivety in that. And that is the version of innocence that he was excited to represent. So that really excited me, and I think I discovered joy for myself through the character as well. So that was special.
Was not challenging. It was because I think the way he is written, and you could have made 10 parts of it. Each book could have been made into 2 movies easily. There's so much material, so much details, so many characters which were interesting, and so many events that were happening and representing. But film needs a certain amount of structure, and this is a structure that we chose to bring it into 2 part. And so there were parts which we have to now condense, and we have to bridge it. And but apart from that, the core the core of the novel and the core of the movie will be the same. The heart of it will be closer to what Kalki had written. That was what we were aiming at.
I think India has some of the most beautiful women in the world, and proof is that we've gotten almost every beauty pageant. We've won almost every title. It's been going on for years, and in fact, actually, incidentally, I'm sitting on stage with three. I think you're Miss Chennai, Miss everyone knows, and you're also Miss India. So that's another thing for this movie. But the thing is, all of them, they've been fabulous, but I don't know why. She's always stolen everyone's heart. I mean, due respects to these two people here. Every time, there have been many women who have been queens, but Ash has always been symbolic of that picture of perfection that we always look up to. And I really didn't know. I mean, I've seen her films, I watched her, and I think it wasn't just about beauty, it was what she stood for, how I've always felt she's been under a microscope. It's so very difficult being her. She's constantly being watched, constantly needs to be perfect. And let me tell you, she has done it in style. Like the first time I ever saw her was, I mean, she hadn't even got the title yet. I told her the other day, day before yesterday. I was in the crowd, I mean, I was still a struggling actor, I think, or hadn't even gotten it. And as she walked in, suddenly the cloth got caught in her leg and she stumbled. And I thought she's going to fall on her face. She stumbled, she did a couple of missteps, then she gathered her poise, came back and did the routine, whatever she was supposed to do. And there were so many of them, and it struck me this person she's going places. I mean, it never, I don't know, I sensed that in her, the confidence, the poise, the grace, and she did become whoever she became. But what was nice is anywhere you go, even in Chennai, in South India, even till today, there will be jewelry stores, there will be sari stores with her picture. It always is that. And finally, when I got to work with her, I saw the other side where she was professional. And I was lucky, actually, it's 3 films with her actually, because I'd done Ravan in Hindi too, where I was paired opposite her again. And I like the way what she puts into a character, and it's very difficult. I mean, now she's actually in this movie it's even more difficult. But now she's a mother, and she needs to spend time at home, and she needs to give Abhishek his time. I'm sure, and in spite of all that, get her line straight. And Aradhya, and I mean, she's growing up so fast, and I mean, and she's still under the microscope, and it's such a scary place. You say, they always say, right, it's lonely at the top and it's very scary. And Ash, I mean, it must be so scary being who you are. But it's so nice being with you, working with you, and enjoying that chemistry that, I don't know, somehow both our films, I think, we exude a kind of chemistry which, I mean, it's very organic. We've not really worked at it, but all our fans usually keep saying, oh, it's so nice to see you all as a pair. And The only thing is I never get her in the movies. Every movie, they knock me off.
But they are
So
such exciting, different characters to play each
yeah, but
time.
how
I
many
think
times do I
that's
have to
what.
die for you, Ash? Please.
Here we'll keep them guessing. No, here let them go and figure out.
And the other person I have great chemistry is Trisha. And with her too, one film they knocked me off. Why is that? I don't know. I think they like him. Now I'm her brother. I think I kind of like this too. But working with her was that. And what I liked most about her as an actor is like I study my character a lot. I'm very focused. I'm very persistent. I'm very committed to what I do. She is so meticulous in what she does. In every shot, I'll watch her. She'll ask Santosh, Santosh, is this the range? And then she'll adjust her sari, she'll adjust her feel. And even if it's dirt, Manisa will say, okay, come, ready, ready, ready. I'll go roll in the dust and come off. Ash will get that one piece of stone, she'll keep it there. She'll keep a straw, and the continuity will be perfect. No, no, not a millimeter this side, not a millimeter that side. Then the hair is just that one strand. No, no, not that hair, not that strand, the other strand, and stuff like that. And then when you see her dance, I mean, I competed with her when we were acting. It was obviously, but the thing is, in Hindi when she was doing that song, I didn't realize I was in the shot. I was holding a glass of wine, I think, and she's dancing. And I was watching her, and the shot was running, and suddenly I realized, oh, I need to do something. Oh yeah, like, wow. Like I actually, literally, I mean, I think that's the only time I've ever forgotten myself in a shot. That's an honest confession. I She dances so beautifully. It's beauty in motion. I mean, the music in motion, the way she dances. So I mean, I'm also, I mean, obviously one of your fans, and it's such a great pleasure to work with you, Ash. And it's so nice to see you again embody all that in your role in Nandini, and all of them have very strong roles. I mean, we have strong roles too, but the women are so empowered. And Nandini, I think, like how Kundawa is so strong, Nandini again is a very, very strong character, and she's not the antagonist. I mean, to be very honest with you, Pooja, she's more like, hi Pooja, everybody knows you. Me too. Uh, there's no antagonist in this movie. I mean, I think Sir will agree with me. It's more about it's not even about grey. I think everybody's justified in what they want and what they want to achieve, what they've lost, what they've been betrayed at, and they fight for it. So all of us have a reason to be who we are, and all of us are flawed in a way. And I'm most flawed in this, and it's so nice to do something like that in a Mani Sir's film because he gives you that opportunity to explore and to try something very different. I mean, every film that he's done has been so iconic, and it's been so inspire me to bring out something. And in Ravanan, it was since I had 10 different characters playing in my head, we had a field day. Every scene was, let's try this. No, no, let's make him more melancholic. Let's make him more pensive. No, he can be aggressive. Can he be vulnerable? So we will try the whole scene, and sometimes we'll reshoot that same scene again in Hindi or in Tamil because we would have blocked something that was really exciting. So working with him each time has been like working in a, like being in an acting workshop. You forget you're an actor. I think all of us did. And I think this is one of those rare films. I think Mani Sir has, of course, done multi-stars before. He's done huge films always. But this film is the only film I know, to my knowledge, which has only heroes and only heroes in the film. Except maybe a couple of actors and the horses, of course, and the elephants. But other than that, everybody has been or is a hero or is a star of his own. And we all are in that film because we know what he's capable of doing. I was one of the first actors to be signed, and so I didn't get that opportunity to feel anticipation, which every other actor in the industry must have felt in those first month or two when he was selecting the cast, and when he must have thought, okay, let me think of this guy for this role, or let me think of Arun, or let me think of Vande Devan, or let me think of Periya Palavichai. Everybody would have imagined himself in a particular role or in all the roles. Like I would have imagined myself in all three roles. They're such wonderful roles, and they're so much more wonderful when they are with the maestro. Thank you, sir. And I must just add this, I'm sorry, just take another minute. We had taken Ravan to Venice, had the pleasure of watching it in an auditorium, and it was not the press, it was not critics, it was not anybody connected to the cinema. And they wanted us to just step in, and it was a general audience. And the movie started, and Mani said, let's go. I said, so it's an Italian audience, let's just sit and let's just watch a little. Then after another half an hour, I said, shall we go? We've seen enough of this. I said, no, so let's watch. Because we'd seen a lot of shows, we've been traveling around. Then the movie got over, and we got up to go. And as they stood up, two couples ran out, because I think they were late. Then the others started clapping. And we were, of course, overjoyed. The whole auditorium clapped and they were saying, "Bravo, maestro, bravo." And it felt so good being there. And we were standing there because 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and he says, "Are they trolling us? I mean, should we leave?" Uh, and I said, "Sir, no, sir, I think it's genuine. Let's just wait, sir." He said, "Should we go?" I said, "No, wait." And you won't believe, I swear, I'm not even kidding. They clapped for more than 5 minutes for what this man was able to bring on that screen. And what was nice is they were not influenced by any story. They didn't know anything about any of the movies that could have any of the stories that could have been a background for Ravanan. They just saw the craft. They saw what he could bring about and how he could encase and showcase India. They loved it. And I, again, through their eyes, I saw what he saw. It was so beautiful what they saw, how they saw India. And again, you're going to see something from the 9th or 10th dynasty, the Chola dynasty, which was one of the greatest dynasties of all times in India. And the best maritime, the naval unit that they had, that was the biggest maritime army that they had. And they conquered all the way from Gujarat down Goa, Kerala, China, Ceylon, Sri Lanka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Orissa, all the way to Burma. Then they went to Malaysia, they went to Indonesia, and then they sent emissaries to China because he was so smart. The king, that's Rajaraja Cholan and his father and his son, they wanted to conquer all the ports because that's the only way. Trade was what is most important. Everybody had to pass through these trades, through these ports, and that's what they did. And that's the story that we're showcasing in this. And it's so nice that we're all part of this. And it's so nice that someone like Manisa can bring about that authenticity, bring it on screen. And I'm so sure all of us have romances in this film. Every character has a love story going. Even Nandini actually has a love story going with power, with the throne. While she's got one with me, while she's got one with her husband, and everybody, like Karthik has a love for adventure, and he's like, every woman loves him, and he is besotted by, yeah, and he loves every woman, and of course, he's captivated by Kundavai's character. Likewise, she's in love again with Ravi, and Ravi, of course, is in love with nothing. He wants to become a ascetic. He wants to become a hermit, and contrary to what he is in real life. Uh, so it's like that. Every character, there's so much of love, and I think love is universal, and love can never, outgrow time.
We were human beings capable of reaction, of contribution, of having an opinion. And it's wonderful in this narrative how the women too have it or find a way of expressing it. And very honestly, who better than Mani Ratnam as a maker to have brought the characters, the leading ladies in the narrative to life on celluloid, because that's something I can say from experience. In every movie I've worked with him, I've had the opportunity to be that that lady or the female character in his narrative. It's amazing. That's something he always also refers to. He's like, what are you thinking? As an actor, he wants the actor to bring to life the thought behind. It's not just the dialogue that is being said or a scene. He likes us to bring what's within to fore. And it's always been about the mind. It's always been about intelligence is not defined in the conventional way, but intelligence has always been attributed to the ladies. I have had to essay with her, whether it was Pushpa, whether it was Kalpana, whether it was Sujata, whether it was Ragini, and today Nandini. So I'm very, very grateful that at every point in time, the women in his narrative are all eternal. The women who will be relatable at any point in time, because women have always been strong. Women have just been given opportunity differently at different times down the ages. So what we women know is we have always had the intelligence. We have always looked for the opportunity to have contributed directly, or we definitely have indirectly forever. And charted the course of events, of life itself, of contributing to the thinking power
our opposite gender in all the interactions, because frankly we're all human beings. You know, I mean, I don't want to get into an entire narrative about now gender equality, but that the fact is that as people, we have always pretty much experienced just. That's what I wanted to acknowledge, Pooja, that the answers in your questions, because I can see an empowered woman asking the question, because you obviously respect and appreciate and acknowledge a woman of substance. And I'm glad that you have recognized that the women in this narrative are just that. They are women of substance. And firstly, full power to Kalki sir to have written this at the time that he did. Considering he was delving into a slice of a very, very impactful slice of history, and making the narrative into, like I said earlier, an engaging and an enticing fictionalized piece. Then to write in characters and women to, excuse me, sir, you're in her way. Thank you. That this is the right time. We surely have been in the right place, and with complete gratitude to you, sir, that we are part of your dream project, that we got to be part of this narrative on celluloid. It is Kalki sir's classic, and you know, everybody in the South is very, very familiar with the books. And you know, it's very close to everybody's heart who has read the book. The series of books actually, but when you discover the story, and you must, and you will, through both these movies, you will know exactly why. It is such an exciting, enticing, interesting, riveting narrative, and yes, it gives you an insight into history, and yet it has the magic of how and where it's been fictionalized, and that is why one can see why a filmmaker like Mani sir would want to bring this on celluloid as his dream project, and how fortunate we are that we got to be a part of his dream film, because it's said in the Mani Ratnam style.
And this larger than life movie.
Firstly, thank you so very much for your generosity. It's a bit much, but I'm very, very humbled, and thank you very, very much. I'd like to thank everybody here who has come out to support our film, showing us our love and giving us your good wishes and blessings. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. Good evening, namaskar, namaste, vanakkam, namaskaram, and I could say it in every language possible, but being Indian, we'll stick with namaste, and thank you so much for being here. This movie is...